Alright, so it's time for that extra little dose of geometry. We're talking about interior and exterior angles. Your learning target is I can find and use the measures of interior and exterior angles of polygons. Let's go.
Alright, so we're going to first go through some theorems here for interior and exterior angles. And these should be things that you've already learned before, but it's important to kind of re-go over it again. There's a polygon angle sum theorem. And remember, polygons are just those different shapes, those closed figures, right? And the sum of all of those interior angles in a convex polygon, that means every single angle in that polygon is less than 180 degrees. Every single one of those angles add up, with n amount of sides, can be found using the formula, and I'm going to write this down for you, n minus 2 in parentheses times 180. n minus 2 times 180, where n is that sides, the amount of sides that we have. So whatever shape you have, if you put the amount of sides in for n, and then solve that formula, you'll know how many angles, or what's the sum of all of those interior angles. Okay, now the exterior angles, the polygon angle sum theorem on the exterior angle says the sum of all exterior angles of a convex polygon, so same thing, all angles inside the polygon are less than 180 degrees, they'll all add up to be 360 degrees. Okay, they'll all add up to be 360 degrees. Alright, so example 1 says to find the sum of the interior angle measures. Okay, so remember, right off the bat, let's go ahead and write the interior angle measures formula. It's n minus 2 is equal, or times 180. That will give us the amount of interior, or the sum of those interior angles. We want to try to find that for the measures of a convex heptagon. Heptagon. Remember, a heptagon has 7 sides, okay? So let's go ahead and do that part first. The second part is just another question, so let's go ahead and answer that first. We know that a convex heptagon has 7 sides, so we have 7 minus 2 times 180. 7 minus 2 is 5, so 5 times 180 is going to end up being, if you use your calculator for this, or if you just know what 5 times 18 is, you know 5 times 18 is 90, and we add one more 0. We've got 900 degrees. Okay, so all of the interior angles in a convex heptagon are going to add up to be 900 degrees. Now, the second part of the question says that assuming the heptagon is a regular heptagon, that means every single side is equal and every single angle is equal. We want to know what is the measure of each interior angle. Okay, so essentially, what is the measure of one of those angles? We know that there's 7 sides, there's also 7 angles, so we take our 900 and we just have to divide that by 7. And if you get your friend out, you get your calculator out, you go 900 divided by 7, we get 128. We're going to round to the nearest tenth here, 128.6. So each one of those interior degrees, 128.6 degrees. Each one of those interior angles in a regular heptagon is going to be 128.6 degrees. Alright, example 2 wants us to find the measure of one exterior angle of a regular 20gon. Okay, so remember, an exterior angle, all of those angles add up to be 360 degrees. So a 20gon, a regular 20gon, is going to be, that means every single one of those angles are going to be the same. There's going to be 20 exterior angles. So we just divide 360 divided by 20, and that's going to give us a total of 18 degrees. Okay, that one's not very difficult. Essentially, what I want you guys to know is that you just divide the total amount by the amount of sides, really by the amount of angles. So example 3, we want to find the measure of each interior angle of pentagon ABCDE. Okay, and it gives, we've got to do a little bit of algebra here, so this is where it gets a lot of fun, right? We see that all of these angles, all of them are going to be different. I mean, E and B are going to be the same, D and C are going to be the same, but A, there's going to be essentially three different angle measures. And so first what we need to find out is what is the value of C. So to do that, we first need to know, before that even, what is the sum of all those interior angles. So we're going to use that formula, and we're working with a pentagon, so we have 5 sides. So 5 minus 2 times 180. That just equals 3 times 180 degrees, which is going to give us 540 degrees. That means all of these angles added up together are going to equal 540. So let's go ahead and do that. All we have to do then is set up an equation of all these added up, set it equal to 540. 32 and 32 is just 64 degrees, 64C, plus 18 and 18 is 36C, plus 35C. And like I said, all of those are going to add up to be 540 degrees. All right. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Get our friend back out. You could type in each one of those, but we've got 64 plus 36 plus 35 is going to be equal to 135 C. Okay, 135 C is equal to our 540. So just divide by 135 on both sides. That'll get C by itself. C is going to actually equal 4. Okay, C is going to equal 4. 135 goes into 544 times. Okay, so now we know what C is. Now all we have to do is just plug that in to each one of these equations here and figure out what each angle is actually worth, right? So we know the measure of angle C and the measure of angle D are going to be equal to 32 times C, which C is 4. So 32 times 4. Okay, and 32 times 4, 32 times 2 is 64, and times 2 again is going to give us 128 degrees. Okay, so the measure of angle C and measure of angle D is going to be 128 degrees. 128. Now we do the same exact thing here for E and B. We've got the measure of angle B and the measure of angle E, that's an and symbol, is equal to 18 times C, which again C is 4. 18 times 2 is 36, and 36 times 2 is 72. So that means both of those are going to be 72 degrees. And you can use a calculator for this too if you want to work on your multiplication. Okay, and then the last one, the measure of angle A, I'm running out of room here. The measure of angle A is 35C. Remember, C is 4 again. 35 times 2 is 70, and 70 times 2 is 140 degrees. And if you add all of these up, 140 plus 72 plus 72 plus 128 plus 128, you'll get a total of 540 degrees. All right, couple more examples here. Example 4, we want to find the value of B in polygon FGHJKL. All right, now here's what we know about exterior angles, because all of these are identifying exterior angles. All of them are going to add up to be 360, right? So let's go ahead and do that. We've got 33B plus 16B. I'm starting over here, going around this area, plus 10B plus 28B plus 15B plus 18B is all going to be equal to 360. 360. Okay, so this is a super long equation. It's not difficult, but it's a long equation. All of these here are going to add up. You could add them up on paper, or you could put them into your calculator. All of them are going to add up to be 120B. 120B is equal to 360. And we can already tell this is going to be pretty easy, right? All we have to do is just divide 120 on both sides, and B is then going to equal 3. So find the value of B. B is equal to 3. All right, one last example here. It says Anne is making paper stars for party decorations. We want to know, what is the measure of angle 1? Angle 1. Angle 1 is this angle right here, okay? So we're just trying to, I know that might be kind of hard to see. It's this tiny little angle over here. You can probably see it better on your paper. But here's what we know. We know that all of these angles, this is a pentagon inside the star here, and all of these angles are going to be the same exact degree because this is a regular pentagon. Okay, so if we can figure out what the each angle is in a regular pentagon, then we know this is a straight line, so 180 minus whatever that is will give us what the measure of angle 1 is. So let's go ahead and do that. Remember, we got to use that formula. We've got 5 sides, and we actually already did this above. We found out in example 3, we found out what the measure of all interior angles were going to be in a pentagon. We've got 5 minus 2 times 180, which we said was 540 degrees. If you look back up at example 3, you'll see that's how we worked through this. That's how we found out we had 540 degrees. All right, now we want to know, this is a regular pentagon. That means that we know that each angle is equal. So we just got to take 540. Each angle is going to be 540 degrees divided by 5. Divided by 5. Which, if you get your calculator out, or if you just do some mental math here, we know that's going to be 108 degrees. So each angle here is 108 degrees. Now that we know that's 108 degrees, we know the whole line here, a line makes 180 degrees. We just have to subtract 108 from this, and that will give us the measure of angle 1. Okay, and 180 minus 108 is just going to give us 72 degrees. So the measure of angle 1 is 72 degrees.